Hello everybody and welcome to Great Leveler Reacts. I'm the Great Leveler and today we're checking out part 1 of the Obi Wan Kenobi series over on Disney+. Stay tuned. So guys, welcome to the channel. This is the first video on my brand new channel. For those of you who don't know me already, I primarily up until this point have done a gaming channel called Great Leveler Gaming. Over there I go by the title Lev. I'm going to carry on keeping that here because I honestly prefer it to my real name. Nothing wrong with it, I just prefer it, so that's what I'm going to go by on here. So yeah, just call me Lev. So really excited to be checking out this series. I love Star Wars, and if you're here, I assume you love Star Wars as well. Now when I say I love Star Wars, I'm not one of those fanboys who can recite facts for days, but I still enjoy it. I love the mythology that's been created and the sheer number of stories you can get from this universe. I only really know of the live action films, and of course I've watched The Mandalorian and the book of Boba Fett, so I know pretty much anything that's in that. I am aware of it. I have watched a bit of the animated Clone Wars series, but only probably about a season and a half, 2 seasons at an absolute push. I heard it gets really good, but I've just not been quite able to get into it. So my knowledge of the expanded universe is confined more to the live action. That being said, I know that this series has the Inquisitors, and I'm aware of the Inquisitors because I played Jedi Fallen Order, which was a great game and obviously gave us some insight into the Inquisitors, that they were fallen Jedis and such. So that was really fun. I really hope this series explores that a little bit more as to where they sit in the Sith hierarchy, because obviously if you do know, the Sith have the rule of 2. So it'll be, like I said, interesting to see how they fit into it all. Now, before we get into the reaction, disclaimer, this was supposed to be a first time react. And basically I tried using a different setup. I'll not get into it here, but things went wrong. And the main thing that went wrong as well was at the end of it, the video file, for whatever reason, is unplayable. I cannot watch it back. So my initial reaction has been lost. What a way to start the new channel. You know, top level professionalism right here. So that's a shame. But I'm still going to react to this video. If anything, it'll be a little bit better because I'll probably pick up on things I didn't pick up on the first time. Plus, I won't mind talking over it because I've already seen the dialogue. So it's a kind of win-win in that regard. I could possibly just skip the first one, go straight into the second one, but that feels really weird, so I'm not going to do that. So do bear with it. This isn't a first time react, but I will try and give a lot of the same thoughts I gave at the time, but I'll probably go into a little bit more detail. So with that being said, strap in, let's crack on. Such a cool opening. Absolute badass opening. Maybe if you did less spins, you'd be more effective. How she didn't hear all this happening when they were doing the little... I don't know, but she somehow didn't hear it or feel it in the Force. Worst Jedi ever. Such an awesome opening. What a way to kick the series off. My suspicion is that some of these are going to become the Inquisitors. Particularly the little, the black girl, because one of the Inquisitors is a black woman, so that makes sense. One thing I really noticed with the costume design in this is it feels very feudal. Darth Vader was based on feudal Japanese lords with the sweeping helmet and whatnot, and it feels like this is kept that, especially with the big hat mebob. And I really wish capes was like an acceptable fashion thing, because I would totally rock a cape every day that I could.
Do you know the key to hunting Jedi, friend? It is patience.
Patience, he says, after being here for all of 30 seconds. I like her movements. Yeah, absolutely no way they could catch up to him now. See, I'm trying to figure out what her motivation for hating Kenobi could be. And since coming away from the episode, I wonder if maybe he recruited her into the Jedi Order, found her when she was very young and convinced her parents to let her join, and then all this happened because of him. Maybe. I don't know. There he is. It's the man himself. So is he actually stealing meat, or is he permitted to take a bit of meat with him every day? See, I didn't pick up at all in anything that I've watched before. This is called a gonk machine, and every time I put a coin in, it just goes gonk. Hence gonk. Oh no! Oh, I'm hoping Qui-Gon comes into it. That'd be really good. I'm assuming they once again as well filmed this series on the volume, which is just such an impressive piece of kit. I was actually really impressed as well to find out that they filmed the latest Batman film on, not the same one, but the same LED type screens. So that was fun to find out. Not very discreet, is he?
Somebody else.
You're looking for somebody else.
What are you doing here, Obi Wan?
I'm not the
name is
master
Ben.
you're looking for.
If you behave, I will let you.
Not even a good decoy. Oh, look at it, more merchandise. Can I just say as well, how well Ewan McGregor's aged. It's a shame that he ends up looking like Sir Alec Guinness in only another few years, but at the moment he looks pretty nice.
He must be trained.
Like you trained his father?
Ooh. That's what I'm loving about this new series. All the new memes. I think so far, the Hat Dude, I'm not knowing any of the names yet, so he's Hat Dude. He's probably the least intimidating. He sounds like he's trying really hard to sound menacing. Right? Almost like he's trying to replicate the Grand Inquisitor.
Or you'll be punished.
River!
Hands go. We're not under the Empire's.
I mean, she did warn you.
You know something?
What makes us single him out? Is it intuition? Or is it just because we know that he knows?
What's your name?
Owen.
Obi-Wan's there trying to pull a little straw on him in the barn.
Right?
I mean, Vader could sense Kenobi on the Death Star, so why, unless he's severed his connection to the Force, that's apparently a thing you can do now.
Anything good today?
A trade ship and an Aquilian Ranger.
Probably scouring for pirates.
That's what I said.
I really like the relationship they've developed. Honestly, I already think this first episode's really good.
Hi, cousin.
I know you shouldn't hit kids, but if you could hit one.
You don't need manners when you're talking to a lower life form.
Then I guess I don't need manners when I'm talking to you.
Yeah, Leia.
Never made one decision for yourself in your entire life, and you never will. May not have seen much, but I can see that.
High five. Go on, high five the screen. It's not weird. No? Fine. Just me.
Not even a real look on her.
Don't ever say that. You are a child.
I really like this guy. I feel like he's been underutilized in the original prequels. Original prequels? You know what I mean. I really like, though, how they're setting Leia up as an adventurous type. It makes more sense to do with Leia than Luke, because Luke's always dreamed of adventure. Leia's lived adventure. That's why she's such a badass from the get-go. She doesn't even need the Force. Although this scene was laughable the first time, it's laughable this time. I legit thought they weren't actually after it, like it was some kind of training thing that she was doing because of how poorly they keep it with her. They literally just step over it. They're twigs. There is no excuse for them not to catch her. It's kind of frustrating how poor they are at their job. Just so annoying. Although at this point I did point out that Star Wars has always been aimed at a younger generation, but because of the nature of it, it can be enjoyed by people who are not so young anymore. But it still retains that kind of childish glee and suspension of disbelief, so I'll let it slide. It's still frustrating to watch. My brother actually messaged me with the same complaint though about that chase of all the series. That's all he mentioned was how bad the chase was, so Now, when I first saw this, I thought, whoa, Disney went there. We've got a man actually being hung in the town square. I'm like, oh, wait, no, they made it child-friendly again. I mean, it's still a dead body, but it's less, so I think it's acceptable.
There is no one I trust more with my child than you.
I really feel like the dialogue's a lot better in this than the prequels. I felt like it got a little cheesy. I'm not saying this probably doesn't have cheese in it, but I think overall just better written and better performed. And this isn't a knock at the actors' performances. They worked the best they could with the material they were given. So, yeah, I just liking it a lot more. Why a child's toy has a circular saw in it, I do not know. Oh, he's got Anakin's as well. I really hope he takes both, but I assume he just takes his own lightsaber. I'd love to see Obi Wan dueling both of them. Considering he lives in a cave, I don't know where his house from episode 4 will come into it, but at the moment he's living in a cave in the middle of the desert. His clothes are spotless. It's totally discreet. Nobody saw that lightsaber at all. So there we go. Part 1 of the Obi Wan Kenobi series is now done with. Part 2 has already been released at the same time as Part 1. We're reacting to that at a different time. I'm hoping I'll be able to catch up with the series so that I'm not too many episodes behind. So do bear in mind that if you're going to leave any comments and you've seen an episode beyond this one, if you're going to put a spoiler, I would suggest you please, first line is put spoilers, just so that I know. And for other people as well who might not watch that far in advance, let's try and be one of those good communities that don't spoil everything for everybody else. So far, loving this series. Now, the Mandalorian series has been consistently good. The Book of Boba Fett, I'm a little on the fence with. It started off weak and then got better, but that's because a certain character came into it. This one I feel like it's hit the ground running. I like the direction they've taken it already. So really excited to see where it goes, how it progresses. Not a spoiler for part 2, but the thumbnail already has Obi-Wan with a gun, well, with a blaster, which he looks really cool, in all honesty. So yeah, I'm really excited for it. So where do I think that this series is going to go? Obviously, we know it's going to have some kind of confrontation with Darth Vader. That's been hinted at heavily. It might be a tease. It might be a major part of it. I don't know. Again, if you played Jedi Fallen Order, Vader was mentioned, but only turned up right at the very end just to make it just an absolute climax. Same with Rogue One. So yeah, I'll be interested to see the journey. But I like what they've done by focusing again on Leia. Like I mentioned earlier, it makes more sense to have her get kidnapped than I forgot his name, than Luke Skywalker, because Luke, as I say, has always dreamed of adventure but never had it. He's just boring life. That's all he's known. Where it makes sense that Leia's been hardened by these events in her past. I also have a theory. I don't know if I've read it somewhere or if I made it up or if I pieced it together from other bits, because there's that many fan theories about Star Wars. All in all, it's difficult to know what's your idea and what someone else's now. But I almost feel like in my head, Luke Skywalker was a purposeful decoy. If they were to discover that Padme actually had kids, as far as they were, she had one child. They didn't know she had twins. I guess ultrasound doesn't exist in the Star Wars world. So maybe by putting Obi-Wan with Luke Skywalker, if they ever discovered they're like, here is Padme's child, that's the one, either kill him or turn him. And Leia would be even more hidden because she's not got a Jedi mentor, she's not got the same surname, so she was better hidden. That's my little theory, that she was always the backup plan or even the main plan while they get distracted with Luke, but it didn't pan out like that for whatever reason. Maybe it'll even be mentioned in this series. I don't know. Anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. This is my first time editing a video like this. Obviously, due to copyright, you have to abide by fair use terms, which I'm going to try and do. I will be just showing snippets down at the bottom with or without sound. I don't know yet. again, it's a learning curve for me. So I'm hoping the video's not gone on too long. I am going to try and keep it a short series. If you think it could do with being longer, let me know. And with that being said, I don't think there's much more to say on the subject. So with that, I think we'll call it. So I'll see you all on the next episode, coming hopefully very soon. Bye.